first panelist today. As you know, we have got four panelists, and first of them is Dr. Anupam Ahuja, who actually doesn't need a lot of introduction because everyone in the education sector has either worked with her or have known her. She has a huge experience of almost 30 years in national and international field of education, with mainly focus on developing inclusive practices. So she is professor in the Department of Education of Group with Special Needs and head of International Relations divisions in the NCRT. So who better than Dr. Anupam Ahuja to tell us about the new education, the national education policy, which refers to NCRT many a times within the text of the policy. So she has worked not only in India, she has worked in Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe. She has reviewed Education for All plan for 17 Asian and Pacific countries with a major focus on linkages between inclusion and the Education for All. Uh, she has she's founder and co-editor of another good network called Enabling Education Network in Asia, and currently working as a member of the working group constituted by the Ministry of Human Resource Development for developing e-content for children with special needs and inclusive education. I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Anupam Ahuja at various occasions, and last was the Burkha series, which is a brilliant series. So I welcome you, Anupam ma'am, for your deliberations today. Dr.
Thank
Anupam
you.
Ahuja.
Thank you very much, Akhilji. It's a very good morning to this large audience. And a kudos to you and your entire team for getting us such a varied, background audience. It makes our task very interesting, and we look forward to the questions that will follow. It's been a privilege for me to be associated with not just the national education policy which has just come, but also the new education, the National Policy on Education 1986 and the POA 1992 and NCF 2005. Having said that, Akhil has already mentioned that I have spent uh, a few decades. So I am not going to pose to be in my 60s. I have lived a life and I'm happy the way I've lived it. And I'm very happy to be able to share this information that about the policy that has just rolled in. NCRT has been waiting along with all of you for this. When is it going to come? 5.5 years of wait, you know, and 34 years since we had our last policy. So, when a baby just arrives and it comes and it's just this week, it takes us a while to register it also. So I must admit, I'm still in that state of taking it in, like all of you. So we all know that this is a very comprehensive document. One look at it tells us that it has a vision, it makes a vision statement, it tells us where education should go for the next few decades. Because if we have waited 34 years, we do not know, honestly, when will be the next policy. I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes, maybe now 18, and I can talk till the cows come home. So 18 minutes is, I'm going to restrict myself, and I'm going to raise some questions and issues, as I share with you my thoughts, because a leopard doesn't change his spots, right? I've done that all my life. So I'm going to raise some pertinent issues related to the policy. First and foremost, what I would like to say is that before we even go into unfolding what what the policy says, let's just all of us together think of some glaring concerns that we have in education. I'm going to put forth to you what I feel are some glaring concerns. I do that with a sense of purpose. The purpose is, if we look at our concerns, we've all lived a life in education. Once we state some concerns for ourselves, one way to check what the policy says is, does it address these concerns? Is it going to give us solutions to these concerns? That's something I want you to think about as I talk about some glaring concerns in the education system. for me, friends, I feel one of the major things is that I don't have to think too hard on this. You and I work in schools. As Akhil said, we have soiled our hands. We know that all children are not learning in our schools. That's one major concern that we all have. There is inequality. There is also what we know. Uh, if a child is born in a household that does not have enough income, it's not the child's fault. Where you and I were born was not by choice, right? But there is a circumstance of birth that also shapes our future. And we see that happening in our education system. The inequalities are clearly there. There is limited access for many children still to the schooling process. Though we have spent 70 long years and we worked very hard and we've achieved a lot in education, but there are still children who are pushed out from our school system. They don't drop out, friends. We keep talking of data which says drop out, but there's a lot of push out that has happened from our school system. We also know that there are children who face pressure. There's a lot of pressure at the secondary level, that especially at the secondary level. We also know that coaching schools and classes have thrived in our country and are still thriving. We're also aware that one of our glaring concern is that there's a lot of stereotyping that happens. There is discrimination that happens. And despite the fact that we say that this new education, our national policy, we're going to have 6% GDP, which is a very good attempt, very good thinking that we are doing. But till now, we have not reached that level ever. So there are inadequate resources that's a glaring concern. And there is also both in terms of human and material resources, they are inadequate. And I'll stop here. I could go on, as I said, but these for me are some glaring concerns in our education system that are there after 70 long years of independence and relentless work and work in the right direction, and lots of policies and lots of schemes which have helped children get scholarships, etc., etc. Now, having said this, let's now see what the national policy is giving us, and does this policy, which has a vision, which is a vision document, does this really give us an answer to these questions? Now, the first thing that comes very clearly from the new education, the national policy on education, is that there is now going to be a shift. Shift how? We've always thought of our existing system is 10 plus 2. Now it says that there's going to be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Now all of you are sitting here. If you add up, you will say, ma'am, it's the same 10 plus 2. Yes, indeed, it is the same 10 plus 10. The years are the same. Yet there is a big difference. And that's what I want you to notice. And for us, that's really a big leap into the future. You and I and all of us in this webinar know that the early years of life of children are the most crucial. Research tells us that 90% of what happens in the child's life later on is dependent on the first 6 years. So first and foremost, the policy has taken into account all this, talk from the rooftop that we have done, that the early years are important. We need to give really good inputs because then they get a head start to move forward. Now, that's what the policy has achieved. We have always had nursery school education. But what did children do there? In urban setup, you and I have seen that children were made to learn 1 to 100. Children were made to learn rhymes, which made no sense to them. Jack and Jill still goes on and on. Humpty Dumpty still goes on and on in these preschools. And what was this done for? It was done so that children could get into good private schools, which had names. And that resulted in the child begins on the wrong foot. You put pressure on the child before he has even learned how to walk. Because you tell him, your father went to this school, your mother went to this school. If you learn these things, you will also be going into the same school. Now, in rural areas also, we see that children tag along with their elder siblings. Sometimes, there are 4 daughters, 3 girls, and the eldest daughter will come to school with the 3 tagging along, and they spend time in the Anganwadis. So it was all all just being done, in a very haphazard and scattered manner, and not done in the right pedagogical uh, uh, rigor that was required. So what the policy has achieved is, it has put the early years right in front of us and told us that it's 3 plus 2. You have grade 1 and 2 that follows, but before that, you have to give child his or her due, and therefore you should use playway activities based teaching and all the right pedagogical support that the child needs in the early years is talked about in the policy. It thus then results in NCERT, of course, having, as Akhil said right in the beginning, we'll have to work on the pedagogical framework, which we are being told by the policy time and again. The draft also said that the version that we have in our hands, 2020, also says that it has to be rooted in the rich local Indian tradition. So that's what the policy has really achieved in terms of a great step forward. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that everything is going to be just smooth sailing. We hope that this will also result in the extension of the midday meal scheme, because we know that many young children still are not getting the food that is required, not just for their bodies to grow, but also for their brains to develop. So we hope that the midday meal will be extended. We also know that there are many Anganwadi teachers who are not got their salaries in the school system, where they work. They have been protesting. Now, when we are asking them to give this new focus to their profession and added responsibility, we will have to train teachers. We will have to address their needs. So this is something that comes with it also. And that's something I think the panel with me and all of you who are listening will have to take on board and join hands to see that happen. We are raising these issues in the webinar because we want action to happen. We just don't want to lament about what needs to be done, and that doesn't really result in action. Now, the policy has also talked about a preparatory phase for 3 years, that's class 3, 4, and 5. It's talked about the middle stage of 3 years, class 6, 7, and 8, and the secondary stage, which is 4 years, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, that's how schooling has to be looked at. There are many other aspects, but since I have 20 minutes, I'll go further. Having raised this important, I repeat, that let's hope that things will move in the right direction in terms of preparing the personnel for this, preparing the infrastructure for this to happen, and ensuring that children start their life in the beginning years of life with the right foot forward, and we giving them what they need. We also have seen in the national policy a thrust on transforming teaching learning process. In fact, some friends in NCERT use a very nice word, and I'm going to use it today morning, that's overhauling the teaching learning process. And when we do that, of course, the thing that we ought to remember is that our children have been forced to do, and that's what the policy says, a lot of rote-based learning. We not need to minimize it. We will not be able to erase it, but we need to minimize it. And that, the policy says, how do we do it? It has given us lots of leads to doing this, and I'm just going to highlight a few. All of us who have been in education know that children learn when they have fun, when they are happy, when they discover, when they are given an opportunity to inquire, and when there are learning methods that are discovery-based, and there is focus on experiential learning. So that's what the policy talks about. It talks about integrating pedagogy, giving them hands-on experience, integrating art-integrated learning, sports-integrated learning, and using storytelling, ICT, integrating all this into pedagogy. And it also talks about, at the same time, not judging children. It says, let's take it easy, friends. Let's not just breathe at the children's neck all the time. Let's give them a space to grow. Let's not make them mechanized machines that have to run in a particular on a particular path and be assessed, and then their heads, knocked and sometimes axed also. No, we need to just focus on competency-based learning. We need to promote children to work with each other. It's not my race that I'm running. I need to work with my friend next door with whom I walked to school, and I need to promote as a teacher. That's what the national policy says, peer tutoring. We need to make joyful activities, and all this peer tutoring just happening is not what the policy says. The policy says it should be supervised by the teacher. So therefore, it clearly says that don't do all the talking. Don't think you have all the information. Let children think about what we are talking about. Let them use each other as sounding boards. Let's empower our students. That's another very long, big message that it gives. To reduce the curriculum load, it suggests that there should be a freedom to choose from a variety of subjects. Let children decide what combinations they want. Why do we have to say, oh, Aloka, my next speaker, or maybe the third one, let's see the order, he's an art student and I'm a science student. Oh, you worked in arts. Okay, Aloka, tell me what you did in school. She would never remember. I would never remember what I did as a science student. Now, it's these boundaries of being a science student, being an arts, humanities stream, all this, yes.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि थोड़ा हिंदी भी मिक्स करेंगी तो अच्छा रहेगा.
हाँ, मैं मिक्स करता.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. No, thank you for reminding me. So बच्चों को हम एक शिक्षा जो हम दे रहे हैं उसमें we should give them a choice. बच्चों को इसी तरह नहीं हम डालें कि सिर्फ बच्चे साइंस के बच्चे हो गए, आर्ट स्ट्रीम के हो गए, नहीं, बच्चों को चुनने का मौका दें. उनको let them decide what combinations they want. Let them, and ये जो separation exist करता था curricular, co-curricular, extra-curricular areas में, और ये जो clean cut boundaries थी, they say that let's reduce, let's not have these separations. Let's not have, extra emphasis on the घोटा लगाना, curriculum, इतना course, इतना syllabus है, इसको cover करना, वो सब ये हमारी पॉलिसी अब कहती है कि बच्चों को जीने दीजिए, बच्चों को खुश रहने दीजिए क्लास में, बच्चों को अपनी जो उनके थॉट प्रोसेसेस हैं रिफ्लेक्ट करने का मौका दीजिए. बैगलेस डे स्कूल में दीजिए. 10 दिन ऐसे हो ग्रेड 6 और 8 के बच्चों के लिए जिसमें वो जाए टेलर की दुकान पर, जाए गमले कैसे बनते हैं गार्डनर से देखने के लिए, आर्टिस्ट को देखें कैसे वो ड्रॉ करते हैं. सिर्फ बच्चों का पॉट नॉलेज से भरना और उनसे पूछना मैंने परसों क्या पढ़ाया था, उससे निकलिए, आगे चलिए, टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करिए. लेट्स ट्राई टू सी हाउ वी कैन इंटीग्रेट टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एनेबल पेडागॉजी टू इम्प्रूव यूजिंग technology. We all know that many children in our classrooms, especially those जो बाकियों की तरह देख नहीं पाते, सुन नहीं पाते, आजकल टेक्नोलॉजी उनके लिए बहुत कुछ लेकर आई है. हमारी पॉलिसी कहती है इस टेक्नोलॉजी को अपनी क्लास की पढ़ने पढ़ाने के विधि में डालिए, इसको इंटीग्रेट करिए और इसका लाभ बच्चों को मिले, मगर सुपरविजन में करिए. ये नहीं कि बच्चे को आपने फोन दे दिया और उसको बोलिए अब तुम टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करें. वैसे भी नहीं खुला छोड़ने की बात नहीं की गई है पॉलिसी में. बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है कि हमारे बच्चे, अभी मैं थोड़ी देर इंग्लिश में बोल रही थी, रिक्वेस्ट आया कि हिंदी में भी बोला जाए. अगर मैं अभी बिल्कुल फ्रेंच में टर्न कर लूँ, मैं फ्रेंच बहुत अच्छी बोल सकती हूँ, तो आप लोग कहेंगे मैडम को क्या हो गया. नाउ दिस इज व्हाट मेनी चिल्ड्रन हमारे स्कूल में बहुत सालों से हम देख रहे हैं कि बच्चों की मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन वो नहीं है जो हम स्कूल में जिस तरह पढ़ाते हैं, उनकी ना वो होम लैंग्वेज है ना वो उनकी मदर टंग है. इसके बारे में बहुत स्पष्ट लिखा है हमारी पॉलिसी, न्यू एजुकेशन नेशनल पॉलिसी में, कि जहाँ वेर एवर पॉसिबल, ये नहीं कहते हैं कि डंडा है कोई, जहाँ वेर एवर पॉसिबल लेट्स यूज द मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन एटलीस्ट टिल ग्रेड 5 and till grade 8 and beyond should be in the home language and the mother tongue, the local language and the regional language. So, and they also talk about how to give fun projects on language, how to use classical languages, how to promote them, how to teach. Again, the teaching of language also has to be done through the experience in learning pedagogy mode. Now, this we have to think about how we do it, of course. There are no clear answers. Now, there's a lot of emphasis on vocational education and building 21st century skills हमारी नेशनल पॉलिसी में। अब ये जब हम देखते हैं बहुत अच्छा लगता है ये चेंज, लेकिन इसके अंदर भी हमें बहुत सोचने की जरूरत पड़ेगी। हमने अभी एनसीईआरटी में बहुत सोच शुरू भी कर दी है। हम कोरिया, साउथ कोरिया के साथ वोकेशनल एजुकेशन अपने रीजनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ भोपाल में बहुत अच्छे से मेकाट्रॉनिक्स कोर्स शुरू करने का हमारा कोर्स आउटलाइन भी बन गया। यू नो, एनसीईआरटी थिंक्स अहेड, 2 years ahead in time. We knew that vocational education needs the focus and will be part of the national policy. But इसमें भी ये सोचने की हर स्टेप पे हमें थोड़ा सा इश्यूज जरूर आएंगे, बहुत अच्छी चीजें दिखने वाली भी में भी हमें सोचने की जरूरत है। क्या अगर हम वोकेशनल एजुकेशन blindly follow करेंगे, is there a risk of premature streaming of children? जो अभी तक रहा है vocational education and formal education, you know, there is an unequal sort of distinction that exists. Can it, if it is anchored in schools, will it really erase it? Now, when we say build 21st century skills, let's stop and think. Do we have the 21st century infrastructure in our schools? It will require labs. It will require, you know, a lots of computer assisted learning. Now, we barely have been able to give benches and, you know, gates to in our schools. So when it looks very good, of course, but then there is a long way to go, and we have to plan. And where will the money come from? Will the states be able to get the money? Will the center be able to give the required funds that are required for building the 21st century skills among children? Will there be philanthropic organizations? Will there be CSF funds that will be ready to pour in? Will we be able to show with the jump into the new with the national policy that we are really keen and we this time mean serious business? Will people join hands? Will you know, क्या हमारे पास उतना फंड आएगा जितना हम चाहते हैं? बहुत चीजें और भी हैं जो बहुत अच्छे से पॉलिसी कहती है। पॉलिसी हमें कहती है कि हमारे बच्चों को की हेल्थ, न्यूट्रिशन, फिजिकल एजुकेशन, फिटनेस, वेलबींग, स्पोर्ट्स, ये सब भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं। योगा, हमारे यहाँ पर हमारे योगा टीचर्स हैं जो ऑडियंस में बैठे हैं, योगा की बहुत बात की जाती है। बच्चों का हम देखते हैं यशपाल कमेटी रिपोर्ट से बैग्स की वेट की बात की जा रही है। इस पॉलिसी में बात स्कूल बैग के वेट को रिड्यूस करने की जा रही है। बच्चों के हेल्थ चेकअप की बात की जा रही है। काउंसलर्स को हायर करने की, स्कूल कॉम्प्लेक्सेस में जो काम करें उनकी बात की जा रही है। स्कूल की टेक्स्ट बुक कैसी हो, आप और मैं जानते हैं कि एनसीईआरटी बहुत अहम रोल प्ले करता है कि टेक्स्ट बुक लाने के लिए, और बच्चों को बहुत सस्ती एंड एट वेरी लो, एब्सोल्युटली ऑलमोस्ट नो कॉस्ट टेक्स्ट बुक्स आर अवेलेबल। नाउ हाउ डू दीज टेक्स्ट बुक्स, you know, what is it that the policy says? If the policy stresses on the local content and flavor, how do we build that? How do the states afford it? It also talks about putting their textbooks on the Diksha portal platform, you know, so that there are free digital versions available. Now, how to do this will be again a big question. There is also a lot of emphasis on making mathematics fun. You know, children saying, हम नहीं पढ़ सकते मैथ, ये हटा दीजिए हमारे सिलेबस से। इस पर बहुत जोर दिया गया है। कंप्यूटेशनल स्किल्स पे दिया जा रहा है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, डिजाइनिंग, thinking, holistic health, organic living. You know, these are all issues. How do we introduce them in our school systems? The policy is making us, is challenging us to think about these issues. It's also making us aware that there are children who are different in their learning styles and they may be gifted in certain ways. NCERT and the NCT has been asked to develop guidelines to support the education of the gifted. B.Ed programs, the policy says, there should be, you know, specialization in education of gifted. हम लोग बहुत सालों से ओलंपियाड ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं और कॉम्पिटिशन्स कर रहे हैं। इन ओलंपियाड का महत्व और अब फोकस लिया जा रहा है, इसको रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस में किया जाए। इसका जो रिजल्ट है वो सिर्फ बच्चे लेकर अपने फोल्डर में नहीं रख दें, नहीं, इसको आईआईटी की एडमिशंस में इसका इस्तेमाल किया जाए, आदि आदि। और हिंदुस्तान में क्या क्या हमारी ट्रेडिशंस कहती हैं, उन पे फिल्म्स बने, इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बच्चों को पता लगे। ये सब जो अभी तक ऐसा लगता है कि हिंदुस्तान क्या है, वो बच्चों को अच्छे से अभी इम्बाइब करने की जरूरत है, और उसको इस तरह इम्बाइब करें कि उसमें उनको दे फाइंड प्राइड इन इट, they feel that to be an Indian is an honor. That's what the policy is also talking about. It's talking about a revamping of the examination system. It's really very clearly said that there will not, the board exams stay, but children can take them twice. Now that's a big step forward. You know, parents are going crazy. आप और मैं भी पेरेंट्स रह चुके हैं, हम लोग कोचिंग क्लासेस में बच्चों को ले, बच्चों का बचपन चला गया। नाउ ये जो असली अब सोच बन रही है कि हम एग्जामिनेशन का, बोर्ड एग्जाम का पूरा जो प्रेशर कुकर की तरह बच्चे उनका फ्यूज जैसे उड़ जाता था, एंड वी यूज्ड टू लूज, वी हैव लॉस्ट सो मेनी चिल्ड्रन, lives have been lost because of the pressure. The policy talks about how to handle these. It says that we need to reform the board exams. Board exams have to be made easier, and they have to be made, viable models have to be explored, semester systems, modular exams, and again guidelines will be prepared by NCERT and consultations. It's so clear that when we look at the policy, it's the policy and the national curriculum framework. We have the NCF 2005. You all know we have now been asked to make, of course, the NCF for school education based on the current policy. And this time it's very clear that we don't wait for too many years. The policy says that we should revisit this 5 to 10 years, within 5 to 10 years. We've also talked about preparing teachers for transforming the assessment systems till 2022-23 academic session. School boards shall ensure equivalence of academic standards in learners' attainment. Standards, norms, and guidelines for school boards will be prepared under the performance assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. Now, these are, this continuous tracking of learning outcomes of each child. Board exams को flexible बनाना, assessment of essential skills, assessment को focus करना core concepts पर, higher order learning पर, etc. etc. ये जो नई बातें हैं, the national testing agency setup होगी जो formal aptitude test देगी, और assessment centers बनेंगे, और बच्चे को self assessment और peer assessment पर भी focus है। ये जो सारा कल्चर ट्रांसफॉर्म करने की बात हो रही है असेसमेंट की, ये बहुत राइट डायरेक्शन पे स्टेप्स हैं, बट इट ऑल्सो रेजेस क्वेश्चंस ऑफ हाउ इट विल हैपन। प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट कार्ड जो बच्चे छुपाते थे, बच्चे दिखाते नहीं कई बार महीने, उसका एक पूरा रूप ही अब नया उसको एक शेप दिया जा रहा है हमारी पॉलिसी में, और कहा जा रहा है कि होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट और बच्चों की प्रोजेक्ट्स पे, क्विज़ेस पे, रोल प्लेस पे, उसका भी रिफ्लेक्शन प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट कार्ड में होना चाहिए। एंड जो बच्चे की यूनिक लर्निंग एंड कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटीज हैं, सोशो इकोनॉमिक उसका स्टेटस, साइकोमोटर डोमेन, ये सब मुद्दों को हमारे होलिस्टिक प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट कार्ड में स्टेट्स को और यूटीज को रीडिजाइन करने की बात करी जा रही है। 360 डिग्री मल्टी डायमेंशनल रिपोर्ट कार्ड की इश्यूज की बात की जा रही है। I can go on. There are so many things that the new education, the national policy talks about. It's like a fruit, which has just dropped from a tree which has a big trunk. The fruit really looks good. It looks very good from outside. We have to taste it. We have to see कितना इसका मजा हम ले सकते हैं, कैसे लेंगे, और क्या क्या challenges हैं. It's just a new beginning that we are making. But one thing is very clear for us all in NCERT and all of us जो बैठे हैं, कोई एक व्यक्ति इस नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी या कोई एक इंस्टीट्यूशन इसका रूप नहीं दिखा पाएगा. I urge you all to join hands, heads and hearts, so that we can unfold this policy for our children and see its merits and demerits, and see how the challenges that I talked about right in the beginning. Does it really respect diversity? Does it really recognize the unique abilities of children? Does it really emphasize on conceptual understanding, critical thinking, and creativity? How does it take us away from rote learning? How do we take it away from children, etc., etc.? How do we emphasize the local context? It is going to give us sleepless nights, but beautiful nights as well, because it is a new breath of air, and oxygen as our children needed it. We have, for all these years, tried to do this. It's giving us a new opportunity, friends. As I said, let's see how it unfolds for us. NCERT is all there. We have spent midnight oil even trying to analyze all the comments that we got on the new draft policy, and we gave it back to MHRD. We see them incorporated, So in a short lifetime, many professionals like you and I have seen things happening. Let's take our leap forward. Thank you very much, Akhil, for this opportunity. I hope I haven't stepped into other people's time. Thank you.
No, not at all. Thanks a lot, Anupam ma'am, for setting the stage very, very beautifully. And मैं ये बिल्कुल कहना चाहूंगा जो आपने कहा कि अभी ये बहुत नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी नई है, और हम सबको, जैसा आपने कहा, कि अपना दिल, दिमाग और आत्मा मिलाकर हम सबको मिलना होगा ताकि हम उस मंजिल तक पहुंच सके जो शायद इस पॉलिसी के द्वारा हमको धुंधली सी अभी दिखाई दे रही है. और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. वेरी वेरी grateful to you for your time, ma'am. And as you know, thank you very much, ma'am. As you know, this has about 22 principles. हमारी जो पॉलिसी है उसमें करीब 22 principles हैं, और उसमें से एक principle जो है which is on children with disabilities and their education. So at the moment what we are concentrating, all the panelists are concentrating